Imagine pulling a character from One Piece's darkest stories and dropping him into the wildest martial arts tournament in fiction. Would you pick the legendary Roxy Xebec or the new character Zeebeck? The pronunciation isn't even clear. Maybe not, since the world government erased the guy from history. But that decision of theirs might have been more out of fear than strategy. Zeebeck wasn't an ordinary pirate. He was the kind of figure who challenges everything that exists, invades the top of the world, confronts secret entities, and still comes out alive.
Today, we're doing what One Piece hasn't for decades, exploring where Zeebeck would fit if placed in the Dragon Ball universe.
I'm sharing this video since this character is popular now, and we'll see more of him later. This video aims to clarify Dragon Ball power scales. One Piece's new characters are breaking even bigger barriers. Unlike rule-free fanfics, the analysis here will be realistic. This won't be like Zeebeck versus Goku Ultra Instinct with computer-generated imagery explosions. I'll give an honest ranking from start to finish. Let's compare Zeebeck's confirmed feats with the universe's established threat system and power levels. Dragon Ball from the start of Z to now in Super goes much deeper than you might expect. The resume suits a final villain. Zeebeck is among the few One Piece characters to face the Giant King, the legendary Herald. But it wasn't just any hit. Their clash was so intense it destroyed everything within 4 to 5 kilometers. And that's without mentioning a devil fruit, just pure strength and hockey. It's like, in the world of Dragon Ball, you suddenly saw a character create a crater the size of a city just by clashing swords with someone else. And speaking of hockey, Zeebeck mastered the rarest and most destructive of them all, Conqueror's hockey, the hockey of the king, and he would even infuse it into his weapons, like his sword. That's like focused Kai control in Dragon Ball, similar to Trunks' power used to defeat the androids in the future. But Zeebeck did this more frequently and with even greater area impact results. In Dragon Ball, characters can destroy universes, yet when they fight on Earth, nothing happens. That's why you can't be sure the attacks are stronger. But I'll talk more about this in another video about Dragon Ball's inconsistencies. Comment below if you want me to make this kind of video, and also give your suggestions, alright? He was also the only one to enter Emu's flower room, the most mysterious and possibly most powerful being in One Piece, rivaling Zen's authority and mystery. Oh, in Dragon Ball E, not only did he make it out alive, but he also threatened to come back. Seriously, it's like Frieza knocked on Zeno's door and said, "Hold my throne, I'll be right back." And there's more. Zeebeck killed a Navy admiral. Remember, when 2 admirals, Sakazuki and Aokiji, fought, they permanently changed an island's climate. That's nearly Emperor-level power. In Dragon Ball, it would at least match someone who can easily destroy mountains, continents, or even a planet. One Piece generally has larger geographical proportions than Dragon Ball. The world of One Piece, according to studies, is bigger than the world of Dragon Ball, much bigger. Anyway, Zeebeck also united Whitebeard, Big Mom, Kaido, Shiki, and other powerful figures in one crew. He dominated multiple Dave backfights with strength and strategy, easily defeating a young Kaido. He had beaten Goldie Roger before their God Valley rematch. He was so dangerous the world government erased him from history. But the question remains, how does this translate to the Dragon Ball universe? Guys, before we move on to this amazing topic, I have a message that changed my life and could change yours. Have you ever stopped to think about how much the world has changed in recent years? We're connected all the time, technology keeps advancing, and in the middle of all this, there's one thing that keeps getting stronger: Bitcoin. Since I started talking about this here on the channel just over a month ago, Bitcoin has already increased in value by more than 15%. Fixed income investments pay little and can seize your money since it's government controlled. Every investment in reais results in a loss since inflation always outpaces your returns. And well, we all need a goal in life, freedom. And yes, you need Bitcoin. Why? Bitcoin had the highest returns in the past 10 years, averaging over 70% annual growth. Meanwhile, the real fell over 50% against the dollar, while Bitcoin rose more than 4,000%. And today it's already a reality. Only 21 million Bitcoins exist, and 19 million have already been mined. Bitcoin is becoming scarce. Not everyone can get it now, and those who buy may become sovereign later. Who can keep it? This money can't be confiscated, so it's a way to protect and diversify your assets. And if you're curious about Bitcoin but never knew where to start, This is the right time. MB, the largest digital asset platform in Latin America, has an incredible campaign for new clients. It's simple. Open your free account and under 5 minutes invest at least 50 Rs in Bitcoin, and you're done. You'll get 25 Rs credit in your MB account within 7 days to use as you wish. It's never been so good to invest in the currency of the future. It's the perfect chance, Feta, to start off on the right foot. A platform offering transparency and full security, compliant with the central bank, Comissão de Valores Mobiliários and Anbima. And to join, it's very simple. Just scan the QR code that's on the screen with your phone or access it through the link in the description and pinned comment. Even if you're not investing now, download the app, sign up, and explore. Learning is the first step. And in the end, Bitcoin isn't just a trend, it's a game changer. It's your future self thanking you for what you did today. Stop watching your money lose value. Stop neglecting your future and your family's future. Link in the description and in the pinned comment. Thank you, MB. Placing Xebec at the start of Dragon Ball, while the Z warriors are still learning about Kai, he'd instantly be a global threat. Xebec is a character known for endurance, strength, and lethality. Far beyond villains like Tao Pai Pai, General Blue, and King Piccolo. In the classic, no one would stand a chance. But let's skip to what really matters. Dragon Ball Z? When Raditz arrives on Earth at the start of Zed, everyone, including Goku and Piccolo, sees him as a monster. Goku and Piccolo must join forces to defeat him, and Goku dies in the process. Raditz could fly, destroy houses with a finger, and was an elite Saiyajin Force spy. That's when things get interesting. Xebec has already faced monsters with greater feats than Raditz on his own and survived. His fight with the King of Giants caused destruction on par with a Vegeta or Uzuru attack. That was achieved without an artificial moon or similar aids. Remember, Raditz couldn't destroy a large planet, just a planetoid. Though it lacks planetary destruction, its map is much larger than Dragon Ball's Earth. So it's fairer to quantify it this way when we analyze feats, at least in terms of destruction. It's fairer to compare Xebec to Vegeta at the start of the Saiyajin Saga than to Raditz. By now, Xebec would be a level 2 threat in Dragon Ball, easily defeating the warriors. Before training with King Kai, Yamcha, Tien-Shin-Han, Kuririn, and Kid Gohan would face Goku after his King Kai training. It would be very tough, but possible, due to Goku's speed, power, and attacks. With his special abilities, he could beat Nappa. I'll discuss Xebec's powers soon, but he'd struggle against Saiyajin Saga Vegeta. He even has a giant ape, and it escalates further. The key is endurance and tactical experience. The goal is to see how the character would react in Dragon Ball. That's why many analyses ignore that I'm making the character follow Dragon Ball logic. I'm considering a segment where I let the character adapt, not just fit into Dragon Ball's logic. Here, Xebec basically wouldn't use any Dragon Ball abilities. That's an idea for other videos. Since the idea is to go through the character, compare with all the threat levels, let's talk now about... This is where many characters from other universes start to fall behind. The Frieza Saga's power scaling quickly hits planetary levels. Frieza could destroy Namekusei with one blow, even in his base form. And Goku, even with Kaioken, which increased his power several times, still struggled against him. So, the question is, would Zeebeck have any chance in this environment? Especially with the level of speed, which already surpasses the speed of light by far in this saga. This was already shown in my video comparing Saitama and Goku, where I examined Dragon Ball's speed and more. That video, by the way, is really good, one of the best ever, a truly fair comparison. But anyway, the answer is surprisingly yes, but with limitations. Xebec could confront Goldie Roger and withstand the combined might of Roger and Garp, one of One Piece's craziest alliances. In Dragon Ball, this is like facing Goku and Vegeta together at an intermediate level early in Dragon Ball Z. Even then, Xebec could only manage that level. Remember, Xebec also killed a Marine Admiral, and Admirals have major feats. You mean altering an island's entire weather? In Dragon Ball, this would probably be at the level of one of Frieza's soldiers, especially because the islands in One Piece, as we've already said, are really big. If we compare Xebec with some technique equivalent to flying, the use of Kai even magically with Haki, it's possible to imagine a fight with early Dragon Ball Z Goku, even pre-Namek, without him necessarily winning. This shows that new One Piece characters can surprise you like those in Dragon Ball. Will the last chapter of One Piece reach a much higher level? Let's see. But once Frieza fully transforms, Xebec couldn't compete with 100% Frieza. Forget it. This character battles Super Saiyajin Goku evenly and can destroy planets in one attack. Not truly immeasurable speed, but compared to Xebec, it's almost immeasurable. No Xebec feats put him at that level. He's weaker than a standard Super Saiyajin. During the Frieza saga, Xebec could face the Special Forces. GINYU, I think Dragon Ball's Rex is more overpowered than One Piece's Rex, but this would still be an interesting battle. He could challenge pre-Namek Z Goku, but I believe Goku would still win due to battle logic in Dragon Ball. However, he'd easily lose to Final Frieza and Super Saiyajin Goku. Up to this point, we were working more with a straightforward fight. But what if we talked about Xebec's special abilities? How could they be overpowered? Generating battle scenarios, not to guarantee a win, but to explore different fight possibilities. Even against characters who are stronger than him in power scaling, actually. From the Android and Cell saga, Dragon Ball greatly increases its power scale and introduces more techniques and abilities. And this is where the analysis of Xebec starts to get more challenging. In terms of pure brute strength, Xebec doesn't compare to characters like Trunks. Future easily defeated Mecha Frieza with one slash, or to androids 17 and 18 who were far stronger than Namekusei Frieza due to their absurd power. Some characters can regenerate and are extremely resilient to explosions and regular attacks. However, Xebec still has some tricks. I came up with 3 ideas that might make things more interesting. To start, an interesting scenario would be the Dave backfight, actually as a control technique. Because in One Piece, the Dave backfight is just a rigged and forced pirate game. When first introduced during the Foxy Pirates arc, it was almost unwatchable due to how boring it was. Under Zeebeck, this would become a tool for manipulation and forced expansion. It's actually a social genjutsu. He would defeat and conquer opponents not only in battle, but also psychologically. In Dragon Ball, Zeebeck could use this to mentally control weaker warriors, even recruiting those with weak hearts. Like Yajirobe. One day I compared Dragon Ball's swordsman to Zoro. I compared Yajirobe, Future Trunks, Tapion, and Talemba, highlighting Yajirobe's little-known power. But yes, in terms of fighting power, even Yajirobe has a power level according to the official guides that could destroy even a planetoid. That may sound odd since he doesn't do that, but watch my swordsman comparison video. It turned out great. But since I made a really crappy thumbnail, it didn't get many views, but that video deserves to be seen. If you like One Piece, it's one of the videos on the channel that you'll enjoy. This Dave backfight tactic wouldn't work on Goku, Vegeta, or Gohan. But think about a scenario where he tries to control the minds of unstable villains like Babidi, or persuading neutral characters like Android 16 to join him. This highlights a rare social danger in Dragon Ball, but it ultimately becomes a humorous situation. Thinking of the Room of Flowers invasion also reminds us of the barrier breaking. Another key point is that Zeebeck was the only one to invade the Room of Flowers, Emu's sacred place. It's like someone in Dragon Ball invaded Zeno's palace, evaded Daishinkan, angels, and guards, and escaped alive. Even if he didn't defeat Emu. Zeebeck's feats display strategic intelligence, resilience, and strong perception, driving him to attempt the impossible. The kind of character who finds a loophole where no one else sees one. In Dragon Ball, characters can lose to more cunning opponents, even with big power gaps. But then many may wonder, what about Conqueror's Haki? Would it be a kind of divine Kai in Dragon Ball? In Dragon Ball, there are techniques that can only be used by characters who have a specific type of energy, divine Kai. That's what makes Super Saiyajin Blue Goku different from a regular Super Saiyajin. Zeebeck's weapon, infused with Conqueror's Haki, directly parallels this. He uses Haki to boost his strikes, cutting and pushing his surroundings. A power similar to Trunks' dimensional slashes on Zamasu or Beelzebub's explosions, but in his base form. In terms of how it works, in other words, Zeebeck already operates on an energy system above the conventional, even without using KI. In Dragon Ball, if a character is much weaker and tries a trick, there's a rule against it. The special ability fails against someone much stronger, especially since this isn't a mortal battle. It's simply how far a character goes by Dragon Ball logic. When he faces much stronger characters like Perfect Cell or Super Saiyajin Goku, even his special abilities, even the most overpowered ones, would end up not working because of this limitation. It seems like Kai is a natural defense that protects against everything. And if you have much more power than your opponent, it won't have any effect. That's why a lot of people don't like the Dragon Ball system, since it's mostly reduced to fighting power as the main factor, and everything else. In the Majin Buu saga, most characters from other works can't keep up anymore. Here, Goku and Vegeta are at absurd levels, even before Super Saiyajin 3 Majin Buu. It has infinite regeneration, magic, partial immortality, and multi-dimensional destructive power. Though Zeebeck's body rivals Kaido's durability, Buu, Gotenks, Gohan, Mashika, and Dabura all use deadly techniques. There's also Rex, plus characters who manipulate time, regenerate, and create clones. So, in Dragon Ball Super, this comparison wouldn't even make sense anymore, especially because at a certain point, the Dragon Ball characters would be on that scale faster than a thought. So, before Zeebeck could even fire a neural synapse, he would probably already lose when the level starts getting really high, especially at that point. Starting with Senior Kaio's training. Among Dragon Ball's threat levels, General Pai Buu advances from local to level 2, a continental threat. Like Raditz, Nappa, and Goku with or before the Kaioken. Here, he would fight a war. He could beat Raditz, maybe he would beat Nappa, I believe he would beat Nappa, but I can't see Goku with Kaioken losing to him, no. In Dragon Ball, when one character doubles another's power, it's far more than just twice as strong. Goku, even pre-Kaioken, is much stronger than Raditz and Nappa. Also, making a video like this takes a lot of work. So, leave your like and comment your opinion below too. Remember, I'm not the owner of the truth. And don't forget to check the link in the description below to open your account at MB. Bitcoin, which rose over 1,000% in 5 years, is available on the platform. Invest 50 reais in Bitcoin and get 25 reais bonus credit. You can also invest in Bitcoin if interested. You are free. Don't miss this chance. It will pass quickly and could secure your families and your future, plus your freedom. And that's it, guys. Link in the description. Don't waste time. And that's basically it. I'm out.